Hi, Paul here from Results Personal Training, and I'm going to take you through the ins and outs of the Turkish Get Up. So I love the Turkish Get Up. If there was only one movement I could do for the rest of my life, it would probably be the Turkish Get Up. And the reason why, there's so many things going on with it. We've got most of the functional movements. We've got lunging, we've got pulling, pushing in there. We've got a challenge for motor control, a challenge for stability. We've got a challenge for mobility as well. It's an assessment as well as an exercise. And it's very neurodevelopmental. It's how we went from, once upon a time we learned to roll, and then from rolling we went and did some crawling, and eventually we kind of got up into what's known as a half kneeling, and then stood up and walked. And those patterns, those milestones we have as kids, well, we can break them back down into the Turkish Get Up. And often, if we're not functioning to our capacity, if we've got limitations or dysfunction, going back and putting some of those neurodevelopmental patterns back into place can be wonderful for us. It's really nourishing for our brains as well. So, Turkish Get Up, I'm going to run you through it. Now, what I suggest, body weight to start with, then you go to the shoe. You practice on the shoe until you've mastered it. Typically, you're wanting to do 100 reps at least with the shoe before you even consider loading this movement. So the first part of the movement, you lie down onto your back. From there, you're going to raise, we're going to have a triangle, 45-degree triangle shape with our legs. The right leg comes up. It's not too close to the butt, but it's not too far away. There's a natural position that sits sort of maybe 10 inches or so away from heel to glute, all right? But where it feels comfy, you'll know where that feels comfy. Then from there, you're going to pop the right hand up in the air. Now, one of the big mistakes I see is this wrist wants to get turned back, particularly when we load it. We've got to see those tendons, and you've got to keep them there the whole time. You're going to then take your left hand, and again, 45 degrees out to the side. Your thumb should roughly line up to your left hip. All right, so 45 degrees, thumb and hip in line. And from there, the first movement is not a sit-up. All right, lots of people want to do this sit-up. It's a roll. So you push and initiate from that right heel, and then you pull from the left elbow, and we roll and we come up, pushing the chest up, keeping the shoulder locked into position. So we're not on holiday in Fiji, we're engaged in a beautiful position from there. The right hand is vertically stacked, okay? From that position, so let me go back down again, it's a roll and a pull, okay? That's super, super important, probably the hardest move of the whole thing. From there, we then come up and we go elbow to post. Now, the cue I like for this one is, imagine there's a bug on the ground and you're squeezing it, okay? From there, again, shoulder is in its socket. It's not hanging out on holiday in Fiji. It's pushed. The chest is up. We've got this tall head position. Then we are connecting our left palm to our right heel. And we push them both together and raise up from the hips. Now, just hold that position for a second. Your shoulder is directly over your arm. The weight, if you had one, would be directly straight up above you. So notice how everything is stacked. From here, we take this leg. The weight is now on our right heel and our left arm. We sweep the leg underneath. Now, the position of the sweep, we're gunning for the heel running. It almost clips the other heel, and then we land it. The line of landing, I've now got a straight line between my left arm, my left shin is straight, and this runs totally parallel, totally straight. What you should find is your right heel roughly is in line in the middle of that shin position. Your chest is up and proud. So we're challenged in this thoracic spine position here. We're challenged in the hip. If your hips are super tight, that's going to want to buckle inwards. If your thoracic spine's super tight, it's going to want to buckle down. So good position. Breathe and own that position. From there, we hinge backwards. So we push our bum back towards our heel, and then we're loading our hips, letting go of the hand and coming up tall. From here, so again, we're stacked. We've got this weight stacked. We take the leg and we step it round so it's directly out in front. Okay, so now we're in a good position to lunge from. We activate, we squeeze the glutes, we squeeze the abs, we get everything nice and tight. At this point, we're looking forward. We stand tall, braced, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs. Then we slide the leg backwards. Knee gently, slowly touches the ground. We take this front leg and we throw it open to what's known as an open half kneeling position. So it's a 90-degree step to the side. Notice this hand's still straight above my head. We then take our left hand, we pop it into our hip so we hinge backwards again. We then slide the hand down the front of the thigh. It travels the exact line of the thigh. We pop it on the ground. We lean forward. So now we've loaded this shoulder or this hand to shoulder complex and we're loading this hip complex. We then take the weight, sweep the leg underneath, gently come down. This shoulder, still not on holiday. Those ears and those shoulders, they don't like each other. They don't want to hang out together, all right? Imagine they need social distancing. Keep it there. Elbow goes down, still social distancing. And then we roll. As we roll back here, the heel gets pushed into the ground. Really control the heel and then control the roll, all right? And then we would do the other side. So if we do it with the shoe gives us feedback to say whether we're doing it right. So if our arm's in the wrong position, we're going to drop the shoe. So note, totally loaded. We've got some tendons. We roll up, okay? The roll is the important thing. The shoulder is social distancing from the ear. We come up, we squeeze the bug, all right? The hips extend. We hold position. We've got a perfect vertical line. We sweep the leg underneath. And again, we've got this straight line from here. We hinge. We come up nice and tall. We step the leg round. We're looking forward at this point. We stand up strong. We squeeze our glutes. We slide and gently, knee goes down. We step to 90 degrees. Now at this point, as I take the hip, I then look up back at my shoe. I slide. I load my shoulder. I sweep my leg under, gently go down to the elbow, and then roll in control down. All right, and bring the kettlebell down. If you've got that, all right, if you've done that enough and you feel really confident, you can load it. Done right. I'm gonna go. I've got a 32 here. Now, I do this not to impress you, but impress upon you. Once you've got that vertical stacked position, you own the movement and you can start to really, really load it. Now, don't do this unless you own the movement beforehand. So what we do, if we got it, we take the kettlebell, we go from our fetal position, we roll from our fetal position, our forearm is totally vertical, we push, we hand, we roll, and again, holding each position as we step through. Core nice and tight, step, drive, gently down, step, look, load the shoulder, nice and slow, unchallenged, but it's slow, elbow, core control, two hands, gently, back to the fetal position. So that there is the Turkish Get Up. Practice with the shoe 100 times before you even consider to load it. Paul, Results Personal Training. Have a great day.